Good evening and welcome to the International Great Black Read Aloud Day. It is day 13 and it is Erotica Day. And so we are excited. I'm sorry, I'm looking up, I'm getting my screen together here. um, it is Erotica Day. And we have a selection today, and I decided to go in a little different direction and more talk about um, erotica. We'll read a little bit, but we'll, we're going to read a lot, but it'll be a little different than our normal reading session because I think it's very interesting to note how the author approaches this. And so we're going to read tonight, and it is day 13. My name is LD Robinson, and I am your reader for tonight. It is the International Great Black Read Aloud Day 2026 version. This is our sixth year of giving voice to words written by Black people from around the world. And so we read with the um, mission for educational purposes and to encourage the exploration, purchase, and reading of books written by Black people. Okay. And so we're going to read tonight, and here our special day is it is erotica, which is always an exciting day. And so um, give me one sec here. I forgot to do something, and I just need to make sure I get our cover up here so that we do right by our cover, by our author, and we're good. All right. And so we are going to read from our selection today is Brown Sugar. It's an older book, but it is still a good collection. It's a collection of erotic Black fiction, and it's number 5. And so, excuse me, we're going to read from the introduction because I think it sets the stage for so much and also sets the stage for a discussion, very thought provoking. The Blacker the Berry. Silken sheets, jazz playing softly on the stereo, chocolate pudding licked from a thigh, black silk against brown bodies in warm, sticky embraces. Eroticism has always played a role in the lives of blacks, yet these images are rarely ever portrayed. African American sexuality is not only of an erotic fashion, but also a romantic and playful one. Its warm sighs as well as heavy breathing. The many moods of Black Eros have only just begun to be explored in movies, music, and literature with stimulating results. Obviously, we're on to something. As Sonia Sanchez wrote, we are definitely a bad people, both inside the bedroom and out. And although attempts have been made, we cannot minimize the potency and urgency of our African roots. In Brown Sugar, we're here to represent, to show the real souls of Black folk, our own particular ardor and passion. Our soul has been on ice long enough. It's time to heat it up. Erotica has long been the domain of white America, but it is no secret that we are a passionate people, from our walk to our talk. So, why is Black sexuality thought of as pornography or dirty instead of sexy? Why is it downplayed instead of uplifted? Why is there shame in the full lips, the white teeth against black skin, the hair unruly, reaching up to the sky, the strong muscles in the leg, back, butt, hips, thighs, and calves, straining the kiss of silk against hot, wet flesh? While Brown Sugar, a cutting edge collection of original erotic fiction, is definitely for adults only, it is not pornographic. Some of the stories are lyrical and some earthy, some funny, others downright startling. What they share is the goal of reclaiming and redefining Black sexuality in its myriad forms, which has often so been defined for us, but less often by us. Black sexuality, sensuality, and eroticism are in the language, the objects of the affection, the whispered words, and the breathy sighs. It is a movement in the half light of the flickering candles near the sweat soaked bed, white cotton sheets against berry brown skin, a touch, a caress, a smile, a laugh, or as Nat so eloquently put it, caramel kisses for Jezebel sisters. We are an extraordinary people, disciplined by our backbone and uplifted by our spirit. But it is our mind that first delivers us into the realms of erotic entanglement. Our experiences, what we see, feel, taste, and smell, the sensual curve of a shoulder, a lover's scent on our fingers, and taste on our tongue, the disturbing ache of desire, the magnetic pull of one body inextricably to a nut. The disturbing ache of desire, the magnetic pull of one body inextricably to another into erotic entanglement. Desire cannot be explained because it starts in the mind, shaped by the words, phrases, and images. We know only that it exists or that it does not. Sometimes, even then, we falter, our wits dulled, as our senses are heightened. No one is immune. We all have erotic stories. We're all in a state of wonder and confusion about who we are sexually. The bookshelves are laden with self help books on finding Mr. or Mrs. Right and then shaping them to our needs. Because it teaches by experience, the demand for erotic literature grows constantly, proving that variety truly is the spice of life. This is why we read erotica, to lose ourselves, though we often find ourselves within the story. That is why, though I am straight, I can be turned on by homoeroticism. Though I don't crave SMX sex, I can be aroused by it in well written literature. Brown sugar brings you the myriad forms of erotic entanglement. Only this time, you'll be able to find yourself in these stories. Of course, we all have our erotic stories. How could we not? It is what makes us who we are. It is why we are with the people we are with, or not with the people we thought we'd be with forever. And it is why we are with the people we never once dreamed we'd be with. In the same way that every book I've ever read has changed me, every lover I've ever been with has taught me something, whether I've wanted them or not. I've learned something not only about them, but about myself as well. These experiences have been invaluable. I'm old enough now to know that. We should be inspired by the endless possibilities available to us, the infinite combinations and variations on a theme. But we limit ourselves to what we think we like, or think we will dislike. This is a lesson I learned that has stayed with me, that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, a story by its teller, or a relationship by its beginning, and that you shouldn't think you know yourself so well that you have nothing else to learn. A story of my own. Not long ago, on a beautiful late spring, early summer kind of day, I was strolling through the Union Square market. The weather had just turned, and the unseasonably balmy Thursday afternoon had everyone playing hooky. I had taken my favorite path across Ninth Street, then turned north up University Place to Union Square. As I passed the flower vendors and bakery stands, I clocked him hawking me as he headed across the park with a friend. It was a full clock. The weather and spring fever had coaxed me into a pair of skin tight beige cropped pants and leather platform sandals. He later told me I'd been strutting, which is not unusual for me. But it was his unrepentant pimp roll and flawless half naked body that caught my eye, one not necessarily more potent than the other. I thought, my eyes are watching God. And Leo, from his mane of drop dead dreadlocks and swagger to the lick me look he gave me, I knew it as soon as I saw him. He was hot, and I felt his heat the minute he turned it on me. I watched him a bit through my shades, but I wanted to give him something for his bravado, for the look he'd given me. So I kept going. I passed him, ignoring his vibe. But at the last minute, I turned and looked long enough for him to see me looking. I smiled. He smiled. When I saw him put his arm through his friend's elbow, I turned away. It wouldn't be long now. I was feeling him and he was feeling me. It can often be as simple as that. And it was. Hello. I turned to find a smile almost as beautiful as the day on a face that was just as perfect up close and a body that made me want to stop and talk. He was a deep chocolate dream, his slanted cat eyes and sloping cheekbones set off by full, luscious lips. I was in lust. Hi, I breathed, giving away nothing but my time. I saw you walking, he said, stating the obvious while making eyes. Uh-oh, not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Yeah, I saw you see me. I turned to him and took off my shades. You've got pretty eyes, he said on cue. Thanks, so do you. Hey, I knew the script. I knew that he knew I thought he was hot, and I knew that he thought that of me too. But we were so drawing a crowd of stares standing in I'm sorry, but we were drawing a crowd of stares standing in the middle of the market, trying desperately to keep our clothes on. My name is Trevor. I'm Carol. All right. Then silence. And more silence. All right, then, I repeated. But my sarcasm was lost on him. He just stood there smiling stupidly, beatifically. The sun was going down on my brilliant day. I was about done, I told myself. Nothing to offer, a waste of time. A candy coated cutie, more delicious than satisfying. I smiled distractedly, already walking away in my mind. He snapped out of it. You've worn braces, right? No, not that I know of. Oh, you've got perfect teeth. He was a face man, all right. Model, actor, dancer. And you've got a perfect body, I replied, speaking his language. He smiled, used to it. He moved around a lot on the balls of his feet, gauging things about me. My body had been what had gotten him over to me. My height, the same as him, but I was wearing 4 inches of platforms. Good. My face, he liked it, I could tell. I was lighter than he was, always a good thing. Should we have children, they'd be milk chocolate and not bittersweet. My eyes, check. We'd already gone there. My face, I knew it was good. Check. I cut to the chase. How old are you? 25. Silence. How old are you? He asked. I'm 30, I answered. Silence. More silence. Then, you got a man? Yes, I do. I lied, covering myself. Trevor looked at me, returning my smile. Is he here? He asked, arms spread wide to encompass the market. Nope, we had an understanding. Can I get your number? He was already going through his pockets. I reached into my bag and pulled out my wallet. Why don't you take my card? Your card? He looked quizzically at the small cream square I offered him. Yeah, my card. It has my phone number on it. I didn't know how much longer I could keep my brain on pause. Not only was I a baby snatcher, and I apologize, my tablet just died, so give me a second. That's bad. All right. We're there, all right, we're back there. Hold on. Well, that's a first. All right. Or a second. I think that's maybe the first time that's happened to us in the midst of in the midst of reading. All right. Okay. Yes, go to that location. All right. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we're going back. Yeah, my card. It has my phone number on it. I didn't know how much longer I could keep my brain on pause. Not only was I a baby snatcher, I was snatching them for remedial school. Okay, cool. A breakthrough. All right, he said, fingering the card. Carol Taylor, editorial consultant. He looked up at me. Editorial consultant, huh? I was getting a headache. Trevor looked at me, excuse me, excuse me, returning my, I was getting a headache. But at that moment, he stepped back and folded his arms under his biceps and gave me a look all over that made me so hot that I knew I had to have him. I weighed my options. He was hot but slow. But that was okay because I was fast enough for both of us. He was more gym than library, more takeout than restaurant, and I knew he'd take almost as long as I would to get ready, probably longer. Well, a guilty pleasure, a spring fling, and I certainly deserved it. I decided to go with the flow, but I would keep a low pro. I put my hand on his arm and smiled. Yeah, editorial consultant. Call me and I'll tell you what it means. Then I turned on my sizable heel, put one foot in front of the other, and walked away. Careful what you wish for. Trevor surprised me with a call that evening. I wasn't even thinking about him, but he was hyper and fun, and we talked for about 2 hours. What did you do after you left me? What do you do for fun? What are you wearing? What does your bedroom look like? Yo, you rollerblade? That is mad cool. I'll teach you. You've got the legs for it. And on and on and on. I was tired just holding the phone up to my ear. Is this how he did other things, I wondered? He lived in the Bronx, 234 blocks away from my place. F to the D to the end of the earth. The very last stop. And then walk even farther uptown. I was not going to become a bridge internal girl. I managed to blow him off 5 times. I simply didn't have time to waste, I told myself. But he was persistent, and I finally let him talk me into going to his house. I was pleasantly surprised. He lived in a charming neighborhood in the Bronx. An oxymoron, right? But not only that, Homeboy had a body and a huge old fashioned bathtub. My place only had a shower. I was in love with his tub. I immersed myself in our relationship. I'd never ridden the train so much in my life. Bought a Metro card even. Carried my Discman. That tells you how old this is. Carried my Discman like a good luck charm to ward off the train stupor that seeps into your brain unless it is otherwise engaged. I knew the poetry and motion ads by heart. Love buries itself deep inside me to the hilt. He had only one idea, and it was wrong. A pattern was emerging. I became a bridge and tunnel girl, spending more time in the Bronx than in Manhattan proper. Quite honestly, I didn't mind getting out of town, intent as I was on hiding him from my friends and colleagues. But he taught me a thing or two about judging people according to my expectations and prejudices. I'd assumed anyone as beautiful as he would be self involved and vain, and at 25 he would be, well, too young. All true, but he surprised me in many ways. He came from a whole different world, one of deeds, not of words. A gladiator gym boy. He dwelt in the physical. I'll just do a quick workout, abs, shoulders, and back, 100 reps each, and then I'll meet you later. Okay, baby? He was straightforward and dependable, completely lacking in malice and subterfuge. I knew that he would do whatever he said he would do, and he did. Innocent, he lived in a world of poetry readings, performance art, and Sundays at Body and Soul. Though Trevor wasn't book smart, he definitely wasn't stupid. I've learned more from him than he will ever know, or I could have imagined. One night I arrived at his door for dinner after making up lame excuse after lame excuse as to why I wouldn't eat out with him in Manhattan. I was super crabby from the trip, which had taken almost 2 hours door to door. He let me in, took one look at my face, took my bag off my shoulder, got down on his knees, and took off my shoes. He'd run a bath for me, lit candles and incense, and set up the futon on the floor to catch the cross breeze that didn't reach his bedroom. Then he slid his hands up my hips and pulled my thong down over my thighs and to the floor. He then pulled my dress over my head and picked me up and carried me into the bathroom. He didn't say a word as he set me down into the steaming, fragrant bath, as though I weighed nothing close to my 140 pounds. Then he stood up, smiled, and left, closing the door behind him. I was in love. His tub was so big, a perfect fit. When he came back 20 minutes later, he was wearing, when he came back 20 minutes later, he was naked except for a piece of African fabric he tied as in a sarong around his waist. He tied his dreadlocks back up off his face and pulled on the loofah gloves I left in his bathroom and soaked them up. He leaned and whispered against my cheek, "Stand up." When I did, he started to massage me with his soapy hands, paying special attention to my breasts, thighs, and butt. He'd intersperse my bathing with wet kisses wherever his hands missed on my cheek, my neck, my forehead, my throat. He then opened up the drain and switched on the shower head to rinse me off. He maneuvered me under the shower, keeping the water comfortably hot. He told me to close my eyes, and when I did, he ran the shower massage over my close cropped hair, down my back, over my butt, and down my legs. Then he reversed the route, coming back up in front and lingering between my legs. With one hand, he sat me on the edge of the tub next to him. He coaxed my knees apart and directed the shower massage between my legs, moving the jets of water slowly first over my pubic area and toward my butt, then toward my vagina, and finally down to my clit, keeping it there as he alternated the stream of water from spray to jet and leaving it on pulsating. My head shot back, and if he hadn't been supporting me, I'd have fallen out of the tub, not even caring if I fell. As a wave of pleasure shot through me, he nuzzled my neck and shoulders, looking gently at the corners of my mouth before moving up to breathe into my ear. Feel better? Then he laughed deep in the back of his throat. I bet you're glad now that you came. I was. And that is from our selection today, which is Brown Sugar, a collection of Black fiction, volume 5 from Carol Taylor. And let's put up our cover so that you can see our cover for today. Brown Sugar, a collection of erotic Black fiction by Carol Taylor. And this has been our selection for today here at the International Great Black Read Aloud Day. It is day 13, Erotica Day. Tomorrow is day 14, Romance. And we still owe you a day 12 thriller. And so we've got our thriller, but today went, as it did yesterday, went a bit differently than I had planned. And so I did not get an opportunity to read the thriller before I read today. But we will get in our thriller selection this weekend. It's a good one. But we promised to get it in, and we will be back tomorrow for day 14, Love and Romance. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. And of course, we have something good for you on Valentine's Day to celebrate love and romance. And we will see you tomorrow here on the International Great Black Read Aloud Day. Be sure to follow us online at Black Read Aloud. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can find us there as the International Great Black Read Aloud Day. And we will see you tomorrow here on the International Great Black Read Aloud Day 2026 version. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.